This is the Buddhist story of the king's elephant. Once upon a time, there was a king of Benares who was very rich. He had many servants and a beautiful palace with wonderful gardens. But his most prized possession was a magnificent elephant called Mahagiri. She was as tall as 2 men, and she had large flapping ears, small bright eyes, and was very, very clever. Mahagiri lived in her own special elephant house and had her own keeper, Majinda. The king would often visit Mahagiri to take her some special tidbits to eat and check that Rajinda was looking after her properly. But Rajinda needed no reminding, for he also loved the elephant dearly and trusted her completely. Every morning he would take her down to the river for her bath. He would bring her freshly cut grass, leaves, and the finest fruits he could find in the market. During the day he would talk to her, and in the evening he would play his flute to send her to sleep. One morning, Rajinda arrived as usual with fruit for Mahagiri's breakfast. Suddenly, before he knew what would happen, Mahagiri hit her with a trunk and threw him out of the stall, breaking his arm. She began to stomp her feet and trumpet loudly. Several strong men had to come along and bind her with ropes and chains. When the king heard about what had happened, he was very upset and sent for the doctor to help Rajinda. Then he called for his chief minister.
Minister! You must go and see Mahagiri at once. This morning she threw her keeper out of the stall. She used to be so kind and gentle. Well, you must sort this out, whatever the cost. I will do.
So the chief minister went to see Mahagiri, who was still bound firmly with ropes. First he looked at her eyes. They were as clear and bright as usual. Then he felt behind her ears. Her temperature was normal. Next he listened to her heart. That was fine too. And he checked all over for cuts or sores, but he could find nothing wrong with her.
This is confusing. I can find no explanation for her bad behaviour.
But then his eye was caught by something gleaming in the straw. It was a sharp curved knife like the ones used by robbers. Could there be a connection? That night, when everyone else had gone to bed, the chief minister returned to the elephant house. There in the next stall to Mahagiri's was a band of robbers.
Tonight we'll burgle the palace. We'll make a hole in the wall and then we'll steal the treasure. If someone gets in your way, then you will have to kill them. This is what real robbers must do.
From the shadows, the minister could see the elephant, her ears pinned back.
Just as I thought. King, I think I found an explanation for Mahagiri's bad behaviour.
But what about Mahagiri? How can she be cured?
Well, she has been listening to bad influences. So, if we surround her by people with good influences sharing, then this could cure her behaviour.
What a brilliant idea! We'll find the happiest, the funniest people around, and she might get improved as well.
This is a brilliant idea. Maybe we should meet in her pen once a week, surrounded by people sharing and caring, and maybe her behaviour will improve.
So the minister's friends met in the elephant house as planned. They talked together and enjoyed each other's company. Sometimes they brought cakes and sweets to share. Sometimes their children came and played happily in the straw. All the while, Mahagiri watched and listened. Gradually, she became calmer. Everyone felt a bit nervous when the day came for Mahagiri to be untied. The king ordered everyone to wait outside very carefully. Brave Rajinda came into the stall and began to undo the ropes around her ears and trunk. Next he removed the ropes holding her head. Finally he loosened the thick chains holding her great feet. Everyone held their breath. What if she is still wild? Mahagiri looked around, shuffling her feet, and she began to stretch them. She then slowly curled her trunk around her keeper's waist and shared a nice cuddle together. A great cheer went up. Hooray! The king was delighted.
Well, let's have a picnic to celebrate, and Magiri can come too.
What a great afternoon they all had. Mahagiri bathed in the lake and gave the children rides. It seemed as though she had become kinder, gentler, and even more trustworthy than ever. But Rajinder never forgot what happened and was always careful to set Mahagiri a good example by being kind and friendly himself. The end.